Alright guys, you probably can hear my voice and the image frozen because I'm alt tabbed. But what I did with a bunch of people in the 13th Vermont and the 24th Missouri is I created a roleplay. We all picked nations that are in the native of Medieval 2. We're going to try and get everyone to download the Third Age and play that later, create a roleplay there. But everyone has created a nation. And you can expand into the territory that's not owned by anyone by conquering the rebels there. And we roll a die and someone places the rebels. Now, in the same thing, if you want to conquer a territory that is claimed, all you do is you can call upon your allies. If they're too far away, they cannot help you in the first battle, but you must win 2 battles to defeat enemy for a so-called territory. So you have to win a land battle, and then you must win a siege. If the allies are deemed too far away for the battle, they will be able to play in the siege. If they're there for the battle, they can also play in the siege. We also rolled a die to see how many heirs we have. And the heir just, what's it called? Corresponds to the number of general's bodyguard units you can ever have. If you have a general's bodyguard unit, it must be your general, and if the general dies in that, you have lost an heir. If you lose all of your heirs over multiple battles, then you can no longer use a general's bodyguard unit, and your general has to be thrown in with the militia, or one of those units. You can regain heirs by marrying with other factions to create alliances, or just by, as time goes on, you're going to gain 1 or 2. You do not need to use an heir to play in a battle, so you don't even need to have a general's bodyguard unit at all. However, general's bodyguard units are very good in these battles that we've been playing. Now we're gonna view one of the battles. We're gonna view the very first battle we did to start off the entire roleplay. This was one of the very first battles in our roleplay system. Originally, what we had planned to do was have Nate, who is the Denmark unit over there, he was going to play as Denmark. Jaden was going to play Scotland, however it changed later on when Snickerdoodle wanted Scotland, so we switched it, and Jaden now plays as France in the roleplay. This battle will have an interesting outcome, as I am completely outnumbered in it, but I will attempt to win. Now let's speed this up to whenever we start the real game. And we'll be right here. The battle has finally begun. It seems as if, yes, all of these units are hidden, so they are unaware that they are even here. We have the England's general back there on the cliffside, and then down on the left flank of England, you have Denmark advancing through the trees, and what appears to be Scotland just standing there. We're going to speed this up a little bit. Let them move around. Denmark appears to be advancing. The general is not hidden of England, so they probably think the army's up there. We're going to see them advance to the trees. See where they're going to go with this. So, oh, there comes more men. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Now, England is advancing their general to the hill. It seems as if Scotland is moving around. I think Scotland's just setting up their men. Okay, seems as if they have multiple units of border horses. Some very, very light unarmored cavalry. And then they have their general's bodyguard, which is a very, very heavy armored, all sorts of stuff. Their cav seems to be trying to flank. Also seems like Denmark, wherever it is, there it is, Just sitting in the trees still. They're definitely advancing around the right flank. And we're gonna slow this down to 2 points. Just to see where they go with this. What is England gonna do? Is England gonna shoot at them? Guess they are not. There's stakes in the trees, so that's gonna be a key factor in if Cav destroys their line later on, in my opinion. Seems like England's not responding to anything. Seems like they're going to be flanked on both sides by Denmark on one and a bunch of Cav on the other. We're gonna speed this up real quick. See what they do. So, it seems as if the Scottish are moving back down the hill. And Denmark apparently is just sitting there at the edge of the tree line. The English general has moved back behind his men. It seems like it's just a stalemate right now. It seems as if Jaden is, or General Debauchery, is attempting to figure out where the English are before he advances anywhere, because the English, yes, the English do have longbowmen. They are the longest shooting archers in the game. They will hit them right around this area. If he advances pretty much to here, they're gonna get nailed by arrows. Denmark, alright, so Denmark's moving again. Seems as if Denmark is moving back to the Scottish. Seems like they're gonna flank back to the Scots to help set up a defensive line, or they're going back to the Scots so they can advance through these trees hidden up to the English. However, I do not think they know where the English are yet, so that's probably not what's happening. We're gonna speed it up to 6. See what they do. So yes, Denmark is moving back to Scotland. And the Scots are advancing. Now, this was Jaden's first or second game ever in Medieval 2, so if he does stupid things like has his men facing the wrong way or has no idea what he's doing with his pikemen, that's probably why. So he's setting up his whole army. And yes, he did set up his pikemen wrong. Oh, no, the other right way. Denmark is here, however they left 2 units, I believe, over here in the trees. The Abdushar, some heavy pike axe things. Oh, this is a concerning development. The English have moved their general up to the very front, out in front of the whole enemy team. Let's see how they respond to this. Oh, it seems as if Denmark is advancing from the English left flank. I feel like the battle's gonna occur in this open field here. So England is gonna charge his general. Oh, they're shooting. Oh, jeez. The Scottish archers took a grave hit. The knights are retreating. See if they... Doesn't seem like they lost a single man in that whole charge. That's interesting. There's the enemy general. I mean, there's the English general right there. He doesn't... No, here he is. He's not going to get out of this.
Our foolish general has thrown his life away.
And the English general has fallen.
That's our chances of victory with it.
Oh. They've seems as if they have fallen into the area of the arrows. The archers, the English archers are taking out some of the cav. However, I don't think that they really realize that the cav is really there. So, the English general lost 2 men, between that archer charge and the cav charge. There's one, and there's one. There's the general. That was a pitiful display of... Seems as if his cav is facing the wrong direction again. That was a stupid display. Oh, it seems as if Denmark is going to advance with his archers. Let's see what they do next. So we're gonna, oh, the English general appears to be advancing again. We're gonna fast forward this up a bit. Oh, the English are being fired upon. The English seem they're gonna hit. They do. Oh, they're getting nailed by arrows now. They're retreating. Nate's unit has seemed to have lost... Oh geez, it lost half its men right there. 30 archers dead in the grass. This Irish unit lost... This Irish unit almost lost half its men. Lost... Oh, there's another one of the cav units. This archer unit lost about 28 men. Now they've lost 4 men total, actually. 4... The general's bodyguard have died. Let's go back down here and see how they respond to this. So he's pulling his archers back behind the line. This is a funky looking line of axemen and stuff. Let's fast forward that. Oh! Okay, Denmark seems to be rushing almost all of his men. I think he has forgotten about the English archers that... One second. I think he forgot about the English archers and took out all those units. Here he goes. This is going to be a deadly charge. If they ever reach them. So, they're going to be in firing range right about now. Here come the arrows. Or he's not going to shoot. Here they come. And the casualties are instant. You just see tens and tens of them dying, just one after the other, just falling. Now they choose to retreat. They've turned their backs and run, losing even more men than before. Because now they do not have the defensive shields to block them. Apparently there's shields on their backs, so it'd be better. But that is a ridiculous amount of troops falling. And these are his anti-cav units, and they are all almost dead. That unit escaped to 16 from 60. Still dropping in this unit. His general is trying to escape with his 10-man unit. Is still taking arrows. Okay, it seems as if his general has escaped. Yes, his units were supposed to have 60, and now they are a lot lower. Especially his heavy axemen that he was going to use to take on the cav. Let's just take a look at all the corpses here. Just a massive amount of death in this little field. Now let's see what England does next. French cav is moving up there again, as we can see. He realizes that the archers are there. This cav unit has lost a lot more men than I thought. It must mean that the corpses here in the field are... Yes, there's a lot more than I thought there were. Alright, so let's just fast forward this and see what the English do. Oh! Whole cav unit is be going mobile. I believe that, yes, their unit's supposed to have 40 and one has a lot less. I believe they're going to start hiding here in the trees in a second. The English are advancing with their general. They seem to be charging through the tree line. The French have completely gone invisible. Apparently the English general knows where they are, though. So we're gonna see how this goes. I think they're right about here. Here they are. There's some good old medieval 2 magical charging. Oh, the general's bodyguard unit is slaughtering those units that it comes in contact with, but is still losing losing men, so they must retreat, it seems. The light cav and the heavy cav is there. Heavy cavalry has joined in on the chase with the general. Seems as if England is trying to retreat. Seems as if the French don't want to come in contact with any of those archers over there. They are firing missiles at the cab, though. Yep, there's the arrows hitting it. They are losing men. Seems as if they're going to chase the general again. Or not, they're going to ignore the general. Oh, he's going to charge into his own stakes. Oh, he pulled off. But the French do not pull off in this grave death. And hundreds, well not really hundreds, but many of the French cav are lost to the stakes. And what's left of them retreats almost instantly. It seems as if the archers have lost 4 men in 2 of their units. They lost about 8 archers in that charge. And there goes the final cav unit of that one. And the rest of their men retreat down the hill, taking arrows to the backs. Routing through the Denmark men. And the English bodyguards are still marching around. Let's just take another look at that immense amount of cav death. They just nailed those stakes at the perfect angle. Not many got through. The archers are still firing, but I believe are out of range. I believe the range on the left flank starts around here. Seems as if Denmark is going to try and flank them up the right. Ugh. Let's speed this up. So Denmark is moving up the side. Face the English general that's over there. These are archers. And there's some more heavy axemen. They are shooting at the general staff. Seems to be charging the archers, but wait, here come the axemen. General staff breaks off. Still taking arrows as it runs around the battlefield. Did it lose anyone? I don't believe it. Yes, they did lose someone at the top of the hill. They lost a few, but it's still going. They are crossing the battlefield. Let's see what happens now. Seem to be moving off the side of my screen. Denmark's close behind. Now the English do not have that much infantry. They have mostly archers. So if played right, they could flank the English around the sides and charge up with the infantry. So it seems as if the English are charging again, but they break off. The axemen are just too close and are charging. The English know they're not going to beat the Denmark spear axe things. The Obudashar, did I pronounce it? Now, let's see what happens. The English cav seems to be circling back around in front of his own men. They are fresh, eager to fight. Denmark seems to be pulling back and reforming the wall. Now, the Scottish cav charged the English cav and lost a bunch to arrows. Seems as if they lost a few to arrows as well. They have 8 General's Bodyguard units left. Let's speed it up again to see what happens. Seems to be advancing. Whole English army seems to be advancing. I think they're bored of the wait. They're advancing down the hill, however they are leaving the dismounted English knights behind. They have axes, and the armed swordsmen are down here at the bottom of the hill to protect the archers. Let's see what happens. The Scots seem to be advancing a little bit. Denmark is reforming the square. I don't know why this is here instead of out like that, but it is. They seem to be forming up. It seems as if the whole English army is advancing again. The armed swordsmen, the archers, and now the dismounted knights. Now, the Highland archers are advancing. So we're going to play in first person this whole time now. Denmark's archers are in the front, and so are the Scotland archers. Seems as if the longbowmen are going to advance past their bodyguards. The Denmark archers are exhausted from their running around earlier. I believe the longbowmen are in range, so we will see what happens. Here come the arrows. And the Denmark archers are nailed once again, losing many men. They're gonna fall back behind the Scots, which is a smart move, but if Denmark and Scotland want to use their archers, they need to advance them into range. Keeping them back like this and trying to stay out of longbow range is not the best. To fight the longbowmen, they must either charge with cav or get close, because the longbows are almost useless when they're up close, because they have to fire up in the air and over. Archers that do more damage the farther away, or right in front. Here come flaming arrows. Now the Scots are just being brutally burned by hundreds and hundreds of arrows. Okay, now the Scots have chosen to advance after losing multiple pikemen and archers to the flame. Denmark, however, is staying back and not supporting their allies. Scotland, who's just being burned to death, is still I don't know if the archers are even going to make it to the point where they are in range. It seems as if the English have stopped firing the flaming arrow to kill more and be more accurate. The flaming arrow does more damage, however it's less accurate. The regular arrow, however, does less damage, but with these units it doesn't matter. They're going to kill them anyway. And they are more accurate. Seems as if the cav is charging the yeoman archers and are going to hit, but no, they are stopped by the knights. The knights cut them off just in time, and the archers just get back 90 men. Except for this one archer unit, seems to be stuck in there. Scots seem to be retreating, most of them. The Scottish and the Denmark soldiers have taken the time to advance. The knights are reforming their wall out in front, and the archers are apparently falling back behind the dismounted knights to continue the barrage from a distance. Speed that up a bit. Archers are still in range, wrecking almost the entire Scottish missile, leaving only one surviving, probably going to retreat soon. One archer standing strong, ready to fight for his country to the last man, firing a single arrow. The English general is still sitting up on the cliffside, so be careful about that. Now they are charging the axemen, and they are cutting through these Denmark soldiers with a single blow, and they finally get the blow off. Becoming a brutal death fall.
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain true and
Flaming arrows
steadfast,
flying in,
victory will be
normal arrows
ours.
flying out. Pikemen are advancing in a pike wall formation. So that means that they will, if they can maintain the pike wall, and there they go, dropping their pikes. However, they are attacking and not defending, which makes it harder for the pike wall formation to actually work. Arrows are also flying in. The English seem to not care about friendly fire. They're firing through their own men at almost point-blank range. The firing has been over. These knights don't seem to have the defense that they need to win this. They seem to be being pushed back rather harshly. Hopefully he will recognize this and send his knights. Swordsmen. The knights are being pushed back to the swordsmen. It seems the swordsmen may
Only
advance
half
soon.
the enemy force remains.
The Scots are flanking with their general's bodyguard. Now the rule in this is, if you lose your general's bodyguard general, you've lost an heir, and you don't want to do that. So he's going to make a risky decision and charge the backside, pulling back his archers to increase the damage from the bows. He just has some knights sitting over here doing nothing. And his general's bodyguard unit is somewhere up on the cliffside, hidden. I seem to have lost it. Oh, never mind. The general's bodyguard unit seems to have charged here and fallen.
The enemy are badly bloodied.
Yes, they did.
They have
charge
lost
here,
half their
and,
men.
I missed it. So we're gonna pause it real quick. The knights seem to be, the swordsmen seem to be holding the line. Denmark is flanking right to try and funnel them in. The Scots are very ferociously pushing up the middle, leaving the English to flank them on the left. Now there's more knights seem to be chasing down to get to the archers, and the cab is about to ram into these poor archers right here. And there they go. Many archers instantly fall. The archers seem to be pulling out their secondaries and fighting. However, they seem not to be.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
The archers pulling
By
back their
St.
bows.
George, our men have slain the enemy
And the
general.
Denmark
Without
general
him, his
falls.
troops will lose their will to fight.
The archers seem to be ignoring. Oh, never mind. The English have turned all of their bows and are just going to fire relentlessly upon this one unit of cav. And the arrows fall down upon them. Some of the arrows firing down range. At the Scots, it seems like the Denmark soldiers have had a mass rout, and now the English have funneled the Scots into this death trap, and now the Scots are also receiving a mass rout. With the pikemen fighting to the death, the axemen have difficulty penetrating the pike wall. However, the English that you would think would charge from the rear are not. The axemen have flanked around, and there go the Scots pike walls, being hacked apart by the axemen. They all died. The remaining English knights charge the general's bodyguard of the French to try and kill their general. Flaming arrows are fired into the same crowd.
The enemy general flees like the
However,
coward
the
he
general
is.
does escape.
Press onward and break the spirit of his army.
So now the English seem to be reforming their group. They did take a blow by losing their general, however these huge amounts and huge piles of bodies are just breathtaking. The Scottish bodyguard
Our
snuck
men are
right
winning the
back
battle.
through
If we
the
continue like
lines
this, we will
completely
smash the enemy.
unnoticed. Only 2 men survive. If the archers were to stop here, they could fire at them, but they don't shoot at them. Chasing down the remaining Scots. However, they're taking flaming shots from the Denmarks that I don't even know. The Danish that have regrouped are firing their arrows, but are set to skirmish mode and shall retreat. Now the Scot pike wall has reformed and is coming back to fight the English armored swordsmen. We'll see how this goes. Pikes are being dropped. Pike wall seems as if pikemen just do not do the damage needed to. And it seems as if the Danish are choosing to fire into the back of the Scotsmen,
press the attack.
reducing the Scots' actual damage towards the English. Now the Denmark axemen, the single one, shall attempt to defend the... Oh, and they are routing before they even get into combat.
This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and valor.
That seems to be the end of the battle, and they shot their own men, killing a few. The final casualties. Combined unit, they lost over 300 men. I mean, they lost way over. The English killed 1,259 soldiers, captured 147. The Scots, for his first game, killed 272, captured 0, and Nate, for I don't even know what game, only killed 99. They lost a lot of men. Scotland with the most, losing 853. However, their troops were not as good, and as you can see with the pikemen, were greater in number, just not the skill needed. Nate had the highly skilled men. However, they were all brutally murdered as they attempted to charge the cav right here. And that's the end of this video. Stay tuned for the next one. And between this one and the next one, you will have seen the fact that by defeating Nate and them, they realized they could not defeat the English. So in the next few battles, Nate has allied himself with the English, and Jaden has become the French. However, you would think they would ally him. They played a battle that I forgot to record, but the next battle that you will see Nate being lied to and told that the English wanted to attack. Therefore, he sided with the French. The French, Nate, and 4 other factions decided to attack England at once. England successfully defended and has still control of Normandy. So, stay tuned. Have a good one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And get the game. It's really fun. So long.